about bribery cases involved judges. For the article summary, the Attorney General's Office, or we can say in Indonesia, Kejagung, Kejaksaan Agung, has in recent weeks arrested a former Supreme Court official, three Surabaya District Court judges, the son of a former members of parliament and the son's lawyer. They are all suspected of buying and selling cases. In July, the three arrested judges found Gregorius Ronald Tanur, the son of a former DPR member, not guilty of the murder of his girlfriend. According to prosecutors, the verdict was the result of a bribe. Ronald's lawyer, Lisa Rahmat, is accused of not only bribing the judges in the case, Erin Tuah Damanik Mangapul and Heru Hanindyo. Lisa is also said to have given around 5 million or 17,000 US dollar to the Supreme Court judge who handled the public prosecutor's challenge to Ronald's acquittal. The Supreme Court overturned Ronald's acquittal on October 22, finding him guilty and sentencing him to 5 years in prison. Zarov, a former Supreme Court official who served from 2012 and to 2022, might have benefited greatly from the alleged brokerage business. If investigators confirm that his assets are related to Ronald's case, Zarov allegedly liaised between judges and thus seeking to evade the law. For the content analysis, this is very unfortunate news. It affects the dignity of a judge who is supposed to uphold the law but instead holds it in his heart and takes it for granted. However, until now, it hasn't been determined what punishment the perpetrator will receive because it is still in the process of further investigation. Of course, this must be conveyed as a form of responsibility for the perpetrator for being negligent in carrying out his duties. Things like bribery don't seem to be a taboo in this country, especially in the realm of the district court. This is also a reminder for all Indonesian people to be trustworthy in carrying out their works. In this article, the authors doesn't oppose the existing threat and support justice for all Indonesian people with transparency. This transparency aims to allow the Indonesian people to access all internal information, including the selection and appointment of judges, disclosure of financial records, and court statistics. District courts should also be required to publish their decisions, which will increase compliance with rulings and improve consistency in the court's decision-making process. Public participation is also key to building credible judicial institutions. Checking the track records of Supreme Court candidates will ensure that those who sit on the Supreme Court are people of integrity. My response for this news is I agree with the publication of this news because this is a warning that the law isn't something trivial, but a rule that we must obey in order to create a safe and comfortable and prosperous Indonesia. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Anissa Siska Febrianti, and today I want to talk about an editorial from the Jakarta Post titled The Graded Degrees. It raises some pressing concern about the integrity of higher education in Indonesia, particularly regarding on how academic degrees are sometimes pursued not for knowledge but for prestige. The editorial highlights the case of Energy and Mineral Resources Minister Bahlil Lahadalia, who obtained a doctorate in just 1 year and 8 months from University of Indonesia. The speed of this accomplishment has sparked many intense debate, with many questioning how he managed this while fulfilling his ministerial duties. Doctoral programs are meant to represent the pinnacle of academic achievement, requiring years of rigorous study, research, and critical thinking. For example, other notable officials have taken up to 6 years to complete the similar programs. The editorial also discusses a broader issue, academic integrity. Indonesia ranks second globally for users of predatory journals, reflecting a troubling lack of scrutiny and quality control in academic publishing. This trend doesn't just harm universities, it tarnishes the credibility of the nation's intellectual achievements. So, what's the solution? The editorial calls on higher education ministry to take action, not by directly intervening in individual cases, but by setting and enforcing stricter standards for academic programs. This includes ensuring that degrees are earned through genuine effort, not shortcuts. In conclusion, this editorial reminds us that academic degrees should not just be seen as a status symbol or a set of letters after someone's name. They are meant to represent mastery, contribution, and critical thinking. If powerful individuals cut corners, it sends the message that knowledge and hard work are secondary to influence and wealth. And my comment as a reader, I find this editorial is very important as it highlights a serious issue regarding to the integrity of education in Indonesia. The case of awarding a doctoral degree to Bahlil Lahadalia in such a short time raises significant concern about the standards that being upheld. The point that many officials pursue degrees merely for prestige is highly relevant. A degree should reflect a competence and dedication, not just be a formality. This practice undermines trust in our academic institution. However, the editorial could be even stronger by offering concrete solutions such as steps to prevent such abuses in the future. Thank you for the to Jakarta Post team for courageously addressing this issue. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Indonesia revives World Cup hopes with 2-0 win over Saudi Arabia. The Indonesian national team has revived its and the country's hope of reaching the final World Cup qualifying round next year after it thrashed Saudi Arabia 2-0 on Tuesday in a hard-fought victory. 2 goals from Marcelino Ferdinand brought victory to the Indonesian national soccer team Tuesday evening in its Round 3 ASEAN 2026 World Cup qualifier match against Saudi Arabia in Jakarta, keeping up hopes that the team could advance to the final round in North America next year. I think this news is very good for us as a reader, especially for soccer lover. Why? Because nowadays we know that the world is talking about football, and the author is very up to date about football, especially in Indonesia. Indonesia now is in the high quality of football. That's why this news is very suitable for us. And then the weakness of this news is the word choice. I think is difficult for us as the beginner of English learner. Why the vocabulary is little bit hard for us to be understood. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.